Which fictional character's death have you not gotten over? Boromir. When I first watched LOTR, I couldn't have cared less when Boromir died. He was arrogant, not as cool as anyone else, and dangerously drawn to the ring. However, as I've gotten older, I find myself connecting with Boromir more with every watch. He clearly cares deeply for the other members of the Fellowship. Unfortunately, he also feels the weight of responsibility for his people, and the pressure from his father. The ring fed into that tortuous quandary, and nearly drove him mad. The scene where he comes to his senses after driving Frodo off is heartbreaking now. So horrified at what he'd done. So vulnerable, so human. And despite believing that he had doomed the world, he threw himself into protecting that which he could still reach. The other hobbits. Everything he had, including his life, and his last moments with Aragorn. Oof. The love and pride that burst from him. Boromir is a great character. Mike from Breaking Bad. Involved in a bad life but the love for his granddaughter. Heartbreaking. That's why I love Better Call Saul. Shut up and let me die in peace. He had some demons too. Brooks from The Shawshank Redemption. The worst thing was how real it was. Knowing that this happens to people a lot. Brooks was here, loudly crying. Leslie Burke from Bridge to Terabithia. This one effed me up as a kid. I was depressed for days. My friend is watching BTT right now for the first time. Hope she has enough tissues. Ned Stark. I was so shocked when they actually did it. The moment I realized this isn't going to be like all the other movies, shows. Edit to all of the replies. I am not that familiar with the actor so I couldn't see it coming. Played by an actor known for dying in everything he's in. And still a shocker. Guess I'm getting too old. Littlefoot's mom. Yo. Probably the saddest kids movie death ever. It was way too much. I felt like I lost my own mom that day. Always wanted to eat a tree star. What was his name? Wash. The pilot in Firefly. Hoban Washburn. Came here looking for this. I am a leaf on the wind. Watch how I soar. Wash, pilot of the Serenity. What killed me was Zoe's response to Kaylee's question. The crack in her voice when she says, Wash ain't comin', it just breaks my heart. She's been a widow for all of 2 minutes. But she's a D soldier and has to hold it together to get her people to safety. Remus Lupin and Nymphadora Tonks. They deserved a good life. So did Fred. Oberyn Martell. Oh God, his death was one of the worst in the entire series. I remember watching that for the first time when I was like 14 and I seriously thought he was gonna win, and then pop. Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist. I really liked him. His Japanese VA apparently also died from cancer this year. It's a terrible day for Rain. Same. Hughes' death hit really hard cause we got to know him and his family and see how much nice they were, and he seemed to be a pretty important character. Morton Solus. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. I made a mistake. Quote. First time in the series he used the word I. His work on the genophage F him up so much he had to detach himself from his work completely. My work, my cure, my responsibility, had to be me. Just added this one myself. Him and Thane were heartbreaking to watch die, and praying at Thane's bedside was almost as bad. Edit. This is now my most upvoted comment, and it's about Mass Effect. Appropriate. The sniper from Saving Private Ryan. He was a guy that was doing his absolute best and gave it his all. When the tower was bombed that he was in, my heart sunk. But that's war. Edit. OMG, thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing all of your stories too. I've been sitting in bed reading them all morning. The first time I watched Saving Private Ryan, it was in my sophomore year in history class and I cried. All of the deaths in that movie were heartbreaking. My horse in Red Dead 2. Rest in peace, Ivory. Thank you. Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. They had to kill Yondu, otherwise the Battle of Wakanda would have been over in seconds. He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy. This is a great answer. His character development is so well written. Guardians 2 did him and Nebula wonders as characters. Fred Weasley from Harry Potter. And Greed from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Don't forget Hedwig. She barely even got a paragraph before they forgot her. You mentioned Greed and not May's use. I never understood why Fred had to die. David Tennant has Doctor Who. I don't want to go. I loved Matt Smith too, don't get me wrong, but I still shed a few tears anytime I watch that episode. Sorry, my nerdy self can't let it pass that I called him Doctor Who instead of the Doctor. I have brought shame on my household. The wife from Up. Yeah, that movie didn't waste any time in tearing your heart out. Man. F. This thread keeps reading. Arthur Morgan. And Lenny. F. I miss Lenny. The horse. The F-horse. When he went back for the horse to thank it, it broke me. May I stand unshaken, amidst the crash of worlds. Lieutenant. Uncle Iroh's son. Avatar: The Last Airbender. While we didn't see his death firsthand, I felt like I was mourning a son of my own when Iron sang that song. Still tears me up. Apparently Mako had his diagnosis by the time he recorded that episode. It feels so raw and real because the emotion fueling it really is